Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Kathy.
And welcome to Savoring Life. We enjoy sharing the beautiful farm where we live in Uruguay. Our love for food and cooking, our value for healthy relationships, and the pursuit of a genuine relationship with God.
Today we're going to make some delicious scones, sip Uruguayan mate by the fire, and share some stories about lost sheep.
Today we're going to make apricot walnut scones for our merienda. And we're going to start off with preheating the oven to 425 degrees or 220 degrees centigrade. And we're going to use this cast iron skillet with about a tablespoon of oil, and we'll get that preheated. Just form it. I don't want to knead the dough, so that will make it tough. So I just want to form it into a round about the size of the bottom of my cast iron skillet. Into 8 pieces. You can cut it however you want. If you want it into rounds, you can do rounds like a biscuit. Okay. And we'll put them in a hot oven and bake them for 16 to 18 minutes or until they're nice and brown. While our scones are baking, we're going to prepare our mate for our merienda. And the mate is actually made from a gourd that grows on a vine. And this one is covered with some leather, and they make a cup out of it. And we add yerba, which is it's written yerba, but it's like a strong green tea. And we add this to the mate. And then to prepare the mate, we'll add a little bit of cold water in one spot by the bombilla. This is a metal straw, and so we'll add just a little cold water and let this soak, and it'll prepare as we're heating the hot water that we'll add then to our mate. Now we'll take the scones out as they're ready. The daily merienda in Uruguay is a traditional afternoon snack where people enjoy something to eat, drink mate or another beverage, and catch up on one another's day. We thought we would take time to catch you up a little on our lives and tell 2 special stories.
Before we moved to Uruguay, our family lived in the Colorado Rockies, where we enjoyed lots of snow. We rented a little cabin there and were unfortunately not allowed to have pets other than hamsters and goldfish. So coming to a farm where our children could experience so many different animals was a dream fulfilled.
Animals have brought us a lot of joy. They have also taught us a great deal. Probably the animal that we have gleaned the most lessons from are sheep.
Sheep are mentioned in the Bible more than any other animal. God says, "We are His people, the sheep of His pasture." Sheep are cute and cuddly, but as you probably know, they're not too smart, and they're really quite helpless. They often lose their way and get confused and need someone to guide and protect them.
Jesus told a story about a lost sheep in the Gospels of Luke and Matthew. He said, "Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, 'Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep.' So it is not the will of your Father in heaven that one of these little ones should be lost."
I remember one lost lamb we had in particular, and it was several springs ago, and we had been having some really heavy rains that spring. And so I knew that the river along our property was going to flood, and so the land, our pastures in the lower part, I knew would be flooded by morning. So I moved the sheep up from the lower pasture up to our upper pastures, and as it was getting late in the evening, I thought, well, maybe I'll make another round and just check to see if there were any stragglers anywhere. And sure enough, I heard this bang way off in the distance, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And so I would walk toward it, and then I would have to stop and listen. And eventually I was able to find where it was coming from, and it was a little lamb that had somehow had crossed the river. I don't know how it had gotten there. I don't know if it fell in and the current swept it across and it was able to get out. But anyhow, there was this little lamb, and it was getting dark, and I could just barely make out his image across on the other side, and he could hear us, and so he was really baying and trying to get our attention. So at that point, I headed back up to the house to get my son Josh, and I got a rope and a couple of headlights, and we headed back down, and fortunately the lamb was in the same place. The water was coming up, and so Josh helped me as I tied a rope around my waist and got down in the water and began to swim across and pull myself across with some low-hanging branches. And as I got up to the other side, fortunately the lamb didn't run from me, and so I was able to catch him. And then I was thinking, how am I going to cross back across this river holding this lamb and keeping our heads above the water and keeping my headlight out of the water? And so I thought, well, I'll just put him inside my shirt. And so I unbuttoned my shirt and put the lamb next to me, and he was wet and cold and shaking, and I put my shirt around us and buttoned it back up. And he was content there, even as I got back into the water and eased back down and able to keep his head above water too. And Josh was pulling me with the rope, and I was able to cross back using some low-hanging branches as well. And so we were able to get across okay. And so we headed back up to the house, and I just had the lamb next to me, and we got up to the house to dry off and check and see how he was, and he seemed okay. And so we made it back safe and sound that night.
It was a very happy homecoming to see this adorable lamb, all wet and shivery, but safe and without any cuts or anything like that. So Josh and Gary did an amazing job of rescuing him, and we dried him off and tried to keep him as comfortable as possible. We knew he was very hungry, but we also knew that if we tried to feed him or were spending much more time with him, that before long there would be a connection with us, and it would be more difficult for him to connect with his mother, and she would be less likely to accept him. So we made the difficult decision of taking him outside on a very cold night and putting him in the corral with the rest of the lambs and mothers, and hoped and prayed that he would find his mother and that they would reconnect and he would get all the nourishment and colostrum that he needed from her. So that was hard, and I just remember feeling so sad and not knowing what was going to happen with this little lamb. So the next morning we went to go see how he was, and unfortunately he was motionless, lying in the field, and did not look good. So Josh picked him up, brought him closer to the corral. Gary got a mother lamb who had a full udder and turned her over, and he and Josh tried to have the lamb nurse from the mother, got some milk on the lamb's mouth, but he didn't respond. So that was very sad. We were all really sad. And so we brought the lamb in, warmed him up some more by the fire, and just tried to get a little bit of milk in with an eyedropper, and lo and behold, he started responding. And pretty soon he was sucking from a bottle, and it was just so incredible to see him revived and come back. And what joy for us, and how much we learned, because we as humans were so excited about seeing this little lamb recovered and restored, and it really helped us understand this story that Jesus told about finding that lost lamb. And it really helped us understand the depths of his love for us and how much more he feels towards us, his children, his creation. And so it was a great time of learning a deep lesson.
Whichever path you are walking on in life, we bless you to respond to the unfailing love of Jesus. If you are walking close to him, may you experience the height and depth of his love and share it wherever you go.
If you are lost or wandering, may you respond to his pursuit of you and call out to him. He desires to have you close and to restore and heal you.
Thanks for spending this time with us. We invite you to join us for part 2 of Lost and Found to learn more about him and his love for you.